God was like, no, you've been doing it your way. You're going to do it my way. Marriage is meant to make you a better person. I started when I was 4 doing extra work. I was like, I love this. Then I became a sexy girl. How do I show them that, like, there's more to me? I also just directed my first film. I saw what I was capable of and then started dreaming a different way. I was at such a low place that I was praying and I was like, God, what am I supposed to be doing?
Hey family, Carlos Watson here. What a special episode. Meagan Good stops by. Now you know her as an actress in film, TV shows, and more. Now a director, but what a wonderful love story she has. You absolutely have to watch this. Enjoy.
The Carlos Watson Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance.
Meagan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What a beautiful smile. Nice to see you. How did you get involved in acting? I love hearing people's start story. And so it's always interesting to hear people who began as child actors. How did you get into it?
I started when I was 4 doing extra work, and it was more of a hobby. And as time went on, they decided to kind of give me a chance. And I just did it like, most kids went to ballet practice or dance class. I just went to auditions. And I don't think I really took it like serious, like, man, this is something I really want to pursue, until I took a year off when I was 12. And then I was like, I love this and I really want to do this. And so when I came back that first year, the first thing I booked was Friday, and I had like a few speaking lines in it. And then I booked my first leading role, which was East Bayou with Samuel Jackson and Whitfield and Journey, and just a great cast.
Please welcome back to our show, Meagan Good.
Please welcome my friend, Meagan Good.
Let's bring in now Meagan Good.
Please welcome Meagan Good.
How have you changed over the course of what has been, 20 plus years of getting a chance to do really good work?
Thank you. I have changed a lot, I think. When I was younger, it was just like, I just want someone to give me a chance to show them that I can do something dramatic. And East Bayou was that for me. After that, I went on and I was a Nickelodeon kid for a number of years. And then also I was in a unique stage of like, crossing over from like child actor to adult actor. And, at 19, I still looked like I was 15. At 22, I was still playing like 16 in a movie. That was an interesting time because it was like, okay, now I just want to be able to cross over. And so then I became like the sexy girl and like the sex kitten. And that was like really fun in the beginning. And then it was like, people think that's all I can do. People think there's nothing else going on up there. How do I show them that like there's more to me and I can do more? So then it became a pursuit of trying to get characters that were more grounded, that were not about how I looked, but more about what I could bring to the table uniquely. What do I really want to put into the world? What do I feel is something unique to me that I'm excited about? And there's not enough women like in the action space. There's not enough women of color in the action space. I never looked up and saw myself there. So then I've become really passionate about that for the last few years, and never was a workout person ever, and decided at 35 I was going to get myself in the best shape of my life. And I did. And then I ended up booking Shazam in the DC universe and trying to kind of grow on that with like Monster Hunter and just develop some different things. And I'm excited about that. And then as I kind of approach getting ready to have a family, it makes me more excited about the action space because I want to show that you can start this and you can start a family and you can go back to this and you can still be badass. As a matter of fact, you're even more powerful when you've accomplished that.
Be fearless! We can do it! I believe in you! We can do it faster!
Our home is the training ground for her dreams policy. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
How are you thinking about family? Because you're increasingly hearing more people talk about saving their eggs, about having a family. You hear very few Black women have that conversation, and I think it's an important one. How have you thought about starting a family, and has it been something you're waiting for? Is it been something you can't wait for? Where are you on this journey?
So it's interesting. I think I've just, in the last probably about 3 or 4 years, been like, okay, I think I'm in a space where I want to venture into motherhood. For a long time, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a mom, and I didn't think that was okay for me to say out loud. I was like, I know it doesn't make me a bad person, but like, will other people perceive me as like, what's wrong with her? That's not normal, and I think that I needed to know that I could make my own choice because it's what I wanted, not because what was expected of me from the day I got married. And I'm I don't like people to try to pressure me into anything because I literally go the opposite way. But I think I've just gotten to that place where I'm like, I do want to do that. I do want to be a mom. I do want to raise kids. I'm terrified by it because, I've been such an independent person. The idea of that type of responsibility and how when I take on a responsibility, I will shift my entire universe to do what I committed to doing. And so because I know that I'm that person, I'm aware that my life is going to change dramatically because that baby will come first. But I'm excited about it now. And we did freeze eggs 2.5, 3 years ago. And I didn't expect it to literally be when I'm 40, but based on my upcoming schedule, by the grace of God, it looks like I'll have turned 40 as we're starting. And I'm excited about it. And traveling to South Africa with my baby and my husband. And I want to do some more kick-ass action stuff as a mother because I think it's kind of so much cooler that way.
So tell me a little bit about how you guys met. I've heard the story, but I'm also romantic at heart. And so I like hearing these stories out loud. Tell us again how you guys came together and how you guys met and how you guys did more than meet, but ultimately obviously married.
So I had just got into producing. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was in that awkward stage of trying to kind of transition out of being seen a certain way. And so we did this little film and it landed on DeVon's desk when he was an executive at Sony. And so he called me in for a meeting and he said, I've seen a lot of stuff that you've been in, but I've never seen you in this light. And this is just really different and cool. And I think you should continue in this direction. And look, if you need anything, like I'm on your team, I got your back, like I'm rooting for you. And then it wasn't till Jumping the Broom came around and they had offered it to Paula Patton. She had passed. And so they started bringing people in and I was on the last call and there was a lot of really good interest. And then in the 11th hour, Paula decided to accept. The director was like, well, you did a great job. And like, we still want you to be in the movie. We're going to like rewrite the best friend character. I was like, I don't want to play that part. I want to play the lead, But I decided to do the movie. And I remember seeing DeVon around set and we talk here and there. And I was just like, wow, like that's the kind of guy I wish I could marry. Like he's just good, wonderful person, loves the Lord. And I connected with his spirit and his vibe. And I was at such a low place that I really felt like DeVon was out of my league, And it was just never like a real tangible thought for me. It was just like, that's the quality of the thing that I want in the future, When I left filming that movie, I was at such a low point that I was like praying and I was like, God, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I'm not doing it right. So I spent the next like 4 or 5 months working on myself. I think I talked to DeVon once because he wanted me to go present an award to promote the movie. And then the second time I talked to him, which was 5 months later, I just started telling friends and family that he was my husband. And everyone's like, but does he know he's your husband? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, hey, Meagan, well, good luck with that, And so he invited me down to his church because he had his book coming out and he wanted to interview me and Laz Alonso about our journey as Christians in the industry. And then he was like, hey, I'm going on this book tour, but like, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Do you want to like get tea or something? And I was like, yeah, sure. And 2 weeks later, we went on our first date. 10 months later, we were engaged. 2 months later, we were married, and we are at 8.5 years.
The fact that it's good for you is just part of the story, right? Part of the story is what's good for him and what's making this still work 8+ years later. What is it about him that really is special? And then flip it on the other side. Like, what would he tell me?
I think when you're really challenged with a person having to accept you in your totality and your shortcomings as being a part of their everyday life, and they can still love you unconditionally, that was a big thing for me. He's matured me in a lot of ways. He has helped heal some of those traumas. Just the things that he says and the things that he does and the way that he prays for me and the way that we communicate and the love that I feel, because I'm a very discerning and intuitive person, and I can just feel certain things from him that have freed me from a lot of the things that I felt like I was like bonded in and pain that I had. And I think that it's really about somebody who's committed to the idea and the understanding that marriage is meant to make you a better person, and it's meant to help you grow into the full potential of who God created you to be.
Tell me about your new projects, and I know you love to stay busy. Tell me about your new projects.
So Monster Hunter's out, and I've always been a big fan of Mila Jovovich. I've been following her since The Fifth Element, and to me, she is kind of like one of the ultimate badasses who, as an actress, she's done a lot of what I want to do, which is she carved out this niche space for herself. She said, this is what I want to do, and I want to be badass doing it.
Captain, do you have any idea what those markers are?
They look pretty ancient.
I also just directed my first film, which is If Not Now When, and had so much fun doing it. You know, me and Tamara Bass co-directed it together. She wrote it. We both co-produced it. We both co-starred in it. It was kind of like my callback to when I saw Waiting to Exhale. I saw myself for the first time. I saw what was possible and what I was capable of, and then started dreaming a different way. And I really want this generation to have that kind of movie. And then the stuff we talk about, my character deals with addiction, and she had her daughter when she was 17 on the floor of her high school bathroom, and now she's struggling with opioids.
Mom! I am not a junkie.
Each one of the women have an interesting, unique story that I don't think gets explored in film enough. And I go back to my TV show, which Tracy Oliver created, and Amy Poehler and Pharrell are producing, and I'm working with these amazing women. They're just wonderful, and the character's wonderful. And I'm like, okay, if the show goes for 10 years, I could be very, very happy here. And then, God willing, and by the grace of God, Shazam 2 starts in May.
I love when people have been on one side of an effort and then get a chance to be on the other side. And I feel like in the best case scenarios, you bring some of this stuff that you got on this side to that other side, but not always. So why are you good, do you think, as a director? What do you think makes you thrive?
I think I'm a good actor's director because of the things that I feel like I see and the way I feel like I'm able to articulate myself and the interactions and conversations I have with the actors in the scenes. And I feel like I'm able to add something unique that maybe they haven't thought of. And it's not that they wouldn't think of it, it's just you're not always seeing yourself from the inside out. And so having that other eye and being able to pick up these things, and then also just being able to speak a certain language that we understand each other. I feel like I'm kind of picky and precise, but in a way that allows people to breathe and bring what they bring uniquely. It's another thing I love about my husband. It's he's a film producer, that's his day job, but he's also a preacher, and he's also a motivational speaker, and he's also an author, and he's also a host. And I think we're both very similar in that way, where we kind of are a lot of things. And why would we ever cut ourselves short to fit into anyone's box when God's called us to be a lot of things?
People have lots of dreams, but they don't always know how to dream fearlessly, and they don't know always how to bring those dreams alive. What's the best advice that you've either gotten or you've given to people?
Well, first thing is I would start with I understand, because I think for a long time I was way more comfortable with dreaming than it actually happening. And when something would happen, it scared me. It was I felt this is too big for me, or I don't know if I'm worthy of this. I don't know if I'm capable of doing a good job in this space. And, there was all these kind of fears. And what I learned was, there's accepting the blessing that comes and the thing that you've been dreaming for. So you can have all the faith in the world, but you have to put that work to meet that faith. And so I just had to step out and just say, you know what? I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other, and I'm just going to start making moves and making decisions and learning and researching and asking people and just do whatever I could do to just not be stagnant in one space and just walk in the direction of the thing that I knew that I wanted. And even though I was afraid walking in the direction, I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. I would just say, go for it. And if you're afraid, that's exciting, because that's literally what courage is doing it anyways, Meagan,
I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much, and I hope I will see both of you before too long.
You will.
Okay, be safe.
You too, God bless.
God bless. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Meagan Good. I really enjoyed meeting her my very first time, but I hope not the last. Loved how open she was to so many different conversations. Really appreciated her confidence. And as you could see, I was curious about where it came from. You know what? I think she's got a big future ahead of her as a director. Something tells me she's going to be a very special storyteller. Looking forward to that and more. I hope you are too. Hey, if you're enjoying this, please be sure to subscribe, tell your good friends about it, and enjoy the podcast as well. I'll see you soon.